Check, check. We are live. I gotta check some things right quick. Let me get the music going. The typical stuff going. Monday evening, no agenda. Just doing it because. Why not? Gotta turn that thing down. This is Night Driving. That's the name of this song. Let's see. Not bad. Got some tea here. Sipping on some green tea at night, but it is what it is. You ever have one of those nights where you're like, I don't know, I'm gonna just try some stuff. That's what we doing here. Trying some stuff. Need to go live. It's been a minute since we went live. It's the wrong time of the day, wrong day of the week. But we doing it anyway. We got 2 people in here so far. If y'all want, go ahead and comment. If not, we can talk about we can get into it, talk about the options for 2023. Hold on, let me see if I can get my iPad to log on. Technology, man. That's what it'd be like. But yeah, let's trying to come up with some options for 2023. Where to go, places to see, things like that, Because this summer, I think it's gonna be a summer. People gonna be out there. People are already out there right now. So I think in another week, Memorial Day, is it Memorial Day weekend that's coming up? I believe it is. Let's ask the Siri. Hey Siri, when is Memorial Day weekend?
Memorial Day is this Friday, May 26th, 2023.
Dang. I ain't even know. Didn't even know. Let's see what we got here. Let's got too many tabs open, bro. What's good? Picasso the poet. What's happening, man? Just in here, just trying to do something, put things out there in the algorithm air. Let it see what it do. But yeah, I got Memorial Day weekend coming up. I have no plans to do anything special for Memorial Day. Just putting that out there right now. But I do know that the travel is going to pick up. There's going to be a lot of Americans going all over the place. From Cancun to I don't know how far they're going to go. I'd just say, like, typically, that's the start of the summer vacation. So yeah, man, I'm in Colombia right now. Did my thing in Brazil, had a good time, but now it's time to to step back a little bit, and I'm gonna probably be hitting up Brazil on a regular basis. To tell you the truth, I need to get my Portuguese up to speed, but yeah, man. How do I afford to travel? Stack that bread, bro. Investments, move smart. I'm not in the business of talking financial stuff. I think it's more of a personal level. I might at some point talk about doing some consulting on that end, and I won't even call it. It'll just be calling it better ways to break bread. That's it. It ain't gonna be financial advice. We ain't gonna use that term at all. It's gonna be how to make better moves. That's what I'm gonna call it, because that's what it really is. And I think I've given out a lot of advice for free to people, and guess what? They don't listen. So guess what? If I do it, it's gonna be at least $50 for any of my time when it comes to that. Because I'm tired of people just, taking your time, energy, you know their exact situation, everything, and you tell them what's up, and they don't fucking listen. They don't listen. And yeah, you're gonna have to pay me. And then if you don't listen, that's okay. I'll go do something with this 50, you know what I mean? Or 100, depending on the, you know, how things go. But I'll say in the beginning, I might start it off at 50. Talking yeah, just better moves. That's what it's gonna be. Yeah, I'm in Colombia. I think somebody already hit that question. I don't know. Yeah, man. Time is money. And by me telling you that, I already gave you some advice, man. I already helped you out right there. So, yeah, but I think that's the way to go. I seen one of the other travel YouTubers in the space, Barber World. He was talking about that people paying for consultants. I've never done a consultant. Somebody asked me about, I think on maybe IG. Somebody asked me if I do consulting on something maybe about a month ago. And at first I was like, you know what? Maybe in the future. I told him that right there on the spot. I was like, yeah, maybe I just got to set things up a little bit. But if people come in asking, people come in hot for it, I'll do it at a reduced rate. But then once I get my thing serious and lined up, it's going to be a lot higher. And if people don't want to do it, that's okay too, you know? Yeah, I was just curious to make great money as well. Just curious with you with a lower following. How you been traveling? And you've been traveling for as long time, it seems. Yeah. I mean, I've always prioritized travel since I was, younger. Even when I was in the military, if I had a choice, and sometimes I did have a choice to go overseas and do something or to stay in the States, I always jumped at the choice to go overseas. I think I had the choice like 2 times. And I think some people, man, they just really don't know about travel. See, before the military, I was already in traveling. I'd already traveled to Europe and Africa multiple times, before the military. So my brain was already primed to see foreign places, even places I haven't been before. Also, too, now that I think about it, even in high school, I remember reading a bunch of Asian books, Chinese short stories, and for some reason that gave me I guess the dream of maybe one day visiting Asia. So I remember one of my duty stations, they asked if I wanted to go either stay in California or go to Japan. I was like, Japan, baby, let's go. I was like, y'all really gonna send me out there? It was like, yeah. So, but yeah, ever since then, even back then, I always realized like, damn, this, I ain't making no real money right now in the military. I better start investing. So I always had that in my brain, like, okay, if I wanted to live over here, this is gonna cost. How am I gonna afford that? Things like that. So you always, I think when you're younger, if you had that pressure on you of like, how am I going to afford this in the future? You'll make it work. I think a lot of people, they just slide through like, oh yeah, things will work out. Slap yourself, man. Things will work out. People who think like that, things will work out. You just got to laugh at them. Nothing works out. You got to make it work out. So it's like with this YouTube, like, oh, okay, I'll do YouTube, It'll work itself out. I'll get videos up one day. I gotta I gotta spend a whole day trying to edit to get the video out. Or, maybe at some point in the future I'll pay an editor or something like that. But I'm not, say the truth, I don't even like that idea of for my stuff, for my content. I need to actually I like it in some ways of editing the video, like hands on, tweaking it. If it turns out terrible, that's all me. If it turns out great, that's all me. Um, yeah. And then if it makes money, great. If not, try again. So that's my attitude for a lot of a lot of this right here. But yeah, man, good question. What other questions we got? We got 4 people in the chat. I wonder where everybody's at. Spicy Noodles, where you at? That sounds like an Asian name, man. Are you Asian? I can't. The avatar is kind of hard to see, and somebody's face is blurred out on that joint. Time is money. Okay, yeah, we get that. But yeah, I'm thinking travel plans for the rest of 2023. I don't know. Latin America definitely will hold you down. A place like Colombia, you can just hop around in Colombia and be good, be content. But that's not my plan. At some point I gotta get back to Africa. And there's routes to go to Africa, right? So I might do some stopping on the way, maybe in Europe. But always gotta stop back in the States every now and then, drop off some stuff, pick up some stuff. Maybe sell this camera, get a smaller, more travel-friendly camera. That's what I'm thinking about. Sony's supposed to be dropping some heat tomorrow. They've been Sony has been. I don't know if y'all are up on cameras or tech, but I think I'm gonna start getting more into that travel tech talk with Tay. You know what I mean? That might be the way to go, because that's all. Tech has always been a passion of mine. Of course, I've chilled out a little bit as I've gotten older. I used to get like the new Android phone every year, the new Google phone every year, and stuff like that. And it's, man, after a while, I had to succumb to the iPhone, right? And my iPhone I got now is an older one, but shoot, man, if y'all watch any of my videos from before last year, it was all iPhone video and some GoPro mixed in, but 85% iPhone. So yeah, and how to use it, the best ways. Okay, you in Cali, you're Belizean and Filipino. Okay, yeah, I knew spicy. You got a name like Spicy Noodles. That had to be something. Yeah, because Belize people do like that spice. They're in the Caribbean. I couldn't think of another name. Yeah, that sounds good, man. Spicy noodle. Be moi 07. What's up? What's up? Okay. Yeah. Honduras road. Yeah, Ace was down in is he still in there? He's still in Honduras? Highly underrated. I don't know. Honduras, I would like to get there one day. I don't think it's gonna be anytime soon. I had a buddy who had been down there a few years before, and he was telling me some good things, but he had a good time down there. He was telling me the good and the bad. They do have some issues. Well, it was a few years ago, so the issues might be better now, but they did have some issues. But there's a lot of Hondurans in the Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. So it's a huge population for such a small country. There's a lot of them in the D.C. DMV area, and I think them and Guatemalans is the two major Latin American groups in the DMV right now. So I was thinking about, I was like, man, I should probably just hit up a Honduran club when I get back to the DMV, see what that's like. My Spanish is improving slowly, un poco, pero I definitely still need to improve it. But I was talking with some people about that recently too, about met some people out here and they're Colombian, speaking English. We were speaking mainly English. She's really good in English, at least understanding. And um, I think she said like last year she couldn't speak any, and now I can say everything like this speed to her, and she understands it. Then she might come back with a few little off pieces, but none. It's pretty good. And but she said she was trying to learn French at the same time. Like she'll do 1 week in this, and then I'm like, to tell you the truth, I'm like, why are you trying to learn French? Potentially she might want to get a job in France later, but also if she picked up on one in the US, she would take that too. My advice to her was um focus on one, and focus on the one that has the biggest potential, biggest impact on your life. And for a Spanish speaker in Latin America, you're still in the Americas, English. Knock that, get English nailed down before you do anything else. And I also feel like it's the inverse for us that are from America, the United States, and speak only English. We should be nailing down Spanish first and then carry on if you want something else. Unless you've been, you kind of like me, been living in other places, so you picked up little pieces as you were there. Um, or unless also like me, you got family that speak French, then that's a reason to learn French. Actually, in my opinion, very few Americans should be trying to speak French. A lot of people wasted years trying to learn French in high school, college, whatever, but had no practical purpose for it. It ain't gonna stick. It's not. Unless you just want to show off all the time, and that'll wear off. You watching French movies or stuff like that. Unless you got a practical reason to be learning that language, don't waste your time. Time is money, like we mentioned before. But yeah, what's good? What's good? Market Focus back in here. Yeah. Okay, he did a live recently. Yeah, I know he was live on Instagram sometime earlier today. A lot of people were live today, man. A lot of people were live. Um, yeah. I was trying to go live. I was thinking about going live this morning, and then um I don't know, I just got distracted with I know exactly what happened now that I think about it. Yesterday I planned on going live this morning, Monday morning. Early. I was thinking about early too, like 7 in the morning. That'd be like 8 in the morning East Coast time in the US. But then I woke up and I looked at my Twitter for the real deal. Looked at the Twitter, and Black Magic had an update. Black Magic, if you don't know, is the parent company of DaVinci Resolve. So sometimes I say Black Magic, but I'm actually talking about DaVinci Resolve because I just like the way it sounds. I mean, I'm on my Black Magic and putting that Black Magic on it. You know what I mean? My edited. But yeah, they came out with a new update, and I don't know. They've been crushing, bro. They just had a major update a month ago, so it gave all these other features, auto auto transcribe, stuff like that. You know, some of us are into that tech stuff. And then they came out with a minor one today where the transcription can do 14 different languages now. So I was messing around with that. And then I'm also still editing some stuff from Brazil. And I'm trying to, y'all let me know right here, right now, what y'all think. I mean, it's only a few of y'all in here, but let me know what y'all think. Because I could put together another regular style, regular length video from Florianopolis, or I could put together a whole wrap up video of Florianopolis of the whole time I was there, and then just giving scenes from a lot of different places. Some of the stuff you might have seen, like little, B-roll of some of the stuff you might have seen, and then new B-roll at the same time. What y'all think? I think I could do both. I could do both. I could still put out something now, or hopefully before the end of this week, and then do a wrap up. But then I also got, I think Brazil stuff is constantly going to be coming in every now and then. So be ready for that. But yeah, it's it's a little bit of a grind when you're trying to do all of this by yourself. And it's not that I'm complaining at all, because it's kind of a dream come true that we can do all this stuff by ourselves today. You can travel, you can be your own travel agent, you can you can research places, see what's what. You can set up a mobile live studio. Think about this 10 years ago. Be like, "Oh, you're traveling to where? You're in what country? And you're doing what?" Hmm. Yeah, that's what we can do now. So, but it still is kind of in the beginning of what we're doing with all this, and there's not a lot of, how can I say it? Not a lot of laid out procedures, right? So, not a lot of best known practices. There are a few, but as far as the overall of being a one man show, not a lot of best practices. But I also like that because you have everything in your control. And then if in the future you want to delegate some stuff, or you want to employ somebody for, you know a good amount about that thing, whether it's camera work, uh, setting up a live, or even some of the parts of editing, well, a lot of editing. If I did employ somebody for editing in the future, I'd be like, hey, you got to use DaVinci Resolve, bro. You know, I don't know. I guess it depends on how good they are. They can use whatever they want, but they got to be familiar with DaVinci in case I want to, you know, ask them for something specific that I know about. Okay, you like the wrap up video idea? Okay, you plan on visiting in July or August? Yeah, I tell you right now, man. It's pretty far south. Now you can look at the yearly temperature for Florianopolis, and it'll tell you exactly what to expect. But the days will be short, the nights will be long, and the temperature won't be as optimal as it was for most of my trip. I would say you can expect it to maybe even get to the upper 50s in the evening, maybe even 40s. I don't know. In the evenings around that time, that's the coldest time of the year for them, July. Um, it still might get to the 70s during the day. I don't know, but like if it is, it'll just be just touching the 70s for a few hours and boom, dropping off. Because I remember I looked it up. Let's look it up now. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and do that. But before I do that, let me hit some of these other questions. What's up, Chrissy? Was good, was good. Yeah, I think this time right here is definitely more applicable for West Coast, for West Coast folks. Good to see you in here. Yeah, we just chatting. Okay, you're especially interested in the cost of living video. Yeah, I need to start doing that. I got all the stuff. I mean, I've been using apps to pay for everything, so I got all that stuff. Still, just gotta put it down and make a point to put in there. Yeah, cost of living videos. Okay, yeah. I mean, I probably should do more of those. The only reason I don't like doing those is because they be shifting. So, so you'll make a cost of, even here in Colombia. If I'd have did a cost of living video even last year in Medellin till today, you'd be like, "Oh, Tay over there lying," because the price was massively different last year. especially depending on where you're staying in Medellin. Bogota, um, I feel like Bogota is more reliable, but in certain places they have changed. So it's even the places where a lot of digital nomads will be at the area, they've gone up. You know, they've inflated. Even things are still cheaper in Colombia. Let's get that straight. Especially, you can make a few moves and things are cheap. But even like the Rappi, I think that I remember when I first came to Bogota, what was that, 2019, 2018? I don't know. But I remember ordering, and this was during the pandemic. No, okay, so it was after the pandemic, 2020. First time visiting Bogota. But I was in Colombia before that, but years before that. But I remember visiting Bogota and ordering something off Rappi. That's when I first started using Rappi during the pandemic. And that thing, the cost of ordering food was half of what it is right now, even though it's still cheaper than in the States by far. But yeah, so that's why I don't like to do cost of living too much. But I can probably touch on it for this next video. We'll see. See if I can get that in there. I got this other vision of what I plan on doing with it. Um, some things a little technical. I might try to play around with some black magic tricks with the editing. That's why it be taking so long to do to get these videos out. But yeah, it's a task, but it's fun at the same time. And right now, the stage I'm in, with this software, DaVinci Resolve, I'm in a stage where I'm still trying to learn the things I want to do. I'm doing some things I probably won't be doing in the future. Just bringing it back and making it more simple, quicker to edit and all that. But right now I'm in that kind of adventure phase of the software where I'm venturing out like, oh, okay, you can do this. Let me try that. And I'll throw that in. Let me see this. And at the same time, it's good to see because you can do it and also see how you guys respond, right? The audience, see how you guys respond to certain things. I think the main thing that I actually like about what I'm doing now is the fact that I can get more focused on what I want to say, you know? So it's like, even if I'm like, okay, I'm trying to express a point and I can, do do something like that. I can bring you into the story through editing a little bit more, not just a zoom, but other things as well. So that's what I'm trying to get better at doing, and I think those type of skill, that type of attention is going to pay off in the future regardless. YouTube can blow up and go away, some other stuff can happen, but you already built this skill of visual. I won't even call it just storytelling. It is storytelling, but also visual um, attention grabbing, so to speak. And also too, when you're looking at other people's stuff, you're looking for the same thing. So you can be more attentive. When I see other, especially YouTubers that are around my size, I see them using high quality, consumer equipment. It's not pro, but it's like, dang, all right, YouTube is capped out there. If you use a better camera, than what you're using, nobody's gonna know any difference on YouTube. But there's certain things that people will always be able to tell the difference on. And I appreciate I see some YouTubers out there, and I see some cats out in Asia. They do some camera reviews, and I just like what they're doing. It just looks good. Their pace is good. They're outside. They're moving. It's motivating. They're small YouTube. I'm talking about. I think one of them, it's got less than 100 subscribers. But I'm looking at the content. I'm like, yo, yeah. I just hope he don't get burnt out. Cause yeah, as long as he's having fun with it, I'm sure he won't get burnt out. But yeah, I might try to do something with him in the future, especially if I start hitting out Asia. Okay, I'm about to watch the Florianopolis vids. I love the videos, man. Keep it up. Yeah, man. I'm trying. The I got some more stuff coming from out there, um, in Florianopolis and a neighboring town, that you guys haven't seen yet. I don't think nobody did a video on them. I'm like, and as far as cost of living, going back to market focuses point, um, the place I'm gonna show you, if you want to be in Florianopolis for a longer amount of time, but at a more reasonable rate, yeah, I think I'm gonna cover that. I ain't gonna go into detail too much, but you'll be able to figure some things out. You know, you'll be able to do your Google research and figure out where you want to be. But that's gonna be for only people who actually really looking to go out there. It's a long haul. It's out there. If you do want to, the one thing I'll say that will eat into your pockets eventually, if you stay out there as long as I did, will be the Ubers. They're not expensive compared to the States, but they ain't as cheap as Colombia neither. So I'm gonna probably talk about that as well. And I got to look through my history on this to see what the actual price is to give you accurate information on that. But it's yeah, I think yeah, that's good ideas we're talking about here. Actually, I'm forming it up, making it a little bit better. Dang. So this is adding more work to the mix. So maybe the video might be out next week. I think what I might need to do, we'll see. But I'm gonna put this whole video together like one piece, like one pie puzzle. The thing I like about my software I'm using, that Black Magic, I can take pieces of it, boom, put it on a different timeline, and then make a separate video of that for something just to get out sooner. Or put out shorts, do more lives like this in between time, because the YouTube algorithm does favor people who are doing more uh, on a weekly basis. I can't say if it's just for edited, uploaded videos or if it's just anything. I put out a short yesterday, or last night, and I had the short for a minute on my phone, or had the footage on my phone for a minute. And I was like, should I do it as a short? I was like, all right, should I just all right, I was like, all right, let me do this short. Ooh, I like this. I was like, okay, well, should I put it out now? And it was around this time in the evening last night, or should I put it out tomorrow morning? Trying to game the algorithm a little bit. Like I'm thinking but I put it out at this time. It didn't do not much until 2, 3 in the morning local time here, which would be about 4 in the morning East Coast time. But I think that it might have hit in Europe. It might have been on a short shelf in Europe, and then boom, it hit. It went from like 60 views to close to 2,000. So I think it got like 1,301 hour. But yeah, that's the YouTube algorithm, man. You never know. My last couple shows before that, they've been out for weeks and they getting just hundreds. And that's the that's the other thing about shorts is they put you on the shelf, you get a bunch of views, they take you off of that joint. So unless you got a group of people that ride with you, like my people in Togo, West Africa, I don't even think it's family. I don't know if it's family or not, because family don't really be commenting on it. But my people in Togo, Lome, they on that short. They looking for that short. That that's the only short I've ever seen where it's just constantly getting views every week. It's just grinding. The thing just rolling. So you know what that means. And I got some more Lome content that I ain't put out too. So as soon as I get done with this Brazil stuff, I'm gonna probably start dropping some more Lome stuff. I'm gonna probably be dropping it. I'm gonna probably be back there. I'll probably be back there showing some more stuff. And when I go back, I'm probably gonna get in the weeds. I'm probably gonna be out there. I'm probably gonna be in the village, man. We'll see. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. Maybe might be in the village. Might be in the city, the club. Might just be on the street during the day, getting some fresh coconut. You know, with the coconut lady chopping it up, bat bat. You hear the rhythm of the tribal language or the local language mixed in with some French. Yeah, so I think the problem with me in Africa is there's always something else for me to do that's not related to YouTube or discovering something new. There's always almost like chores. Well, they are chores that I have to do. Real work out there. So uh yeah, that's the only problem. But I will be making an effort to put out content once I get back there. Okay, we already hit that. What other questions y'all got, man? What's the word? Travel plans. I mean, I know y'all probably got some travel plans too, right? I think somebody shared that they going to Florianopolis. Market Focus. He gonna hit it up. Market Focus. Let me see. You got a YouTube channel? You must got a YouTube channel. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. What's good? What's good? Yeah, man. Just talking about the travel agenda a little bit. I'm thinking on my way to Africa, I should probably hit Europe during the summer. That's the best time to be in Europe. It's also the most packed. Everybody, everybody. I ain't going to Paris. If I go to Paris, I'm doing a detour right through that thing. I'm not. If I book a flight to Europe, unless it's hundreds of dollars cheaper, I ain't going to Paris. Um, Even if I go see well, okay. If some of my family is there, I'll probably go there and visit them. Other than that, I ain't chilling there for long. I got family in other parts of France too. If I go visit them and I have to go through Paris, it's gonna be like that. I'm making that detour south right away. Gare du Sud. Is it Gare du Sud? Gare de l'Est. Gare de l'Est. If I'm coming from Germany, or going to Germany, or is it what's the one in the south? Is it Montparnasse? They got these. So if you don't know, Paris has these different train stations. They got the one on the east side, one on the southern side, and pretty much a lot of times, man, you'll catch a flight in, and you won't even know you gotta you gotta take a train from one airport to another one, or you thought you was flying from, say, Frankfurt to Bordeaux, and you thought you was flying into Paris and then get a connecting flight to Bordeaux, which could be the case. But now, recently, I think as of a few years ago, and I just heard this somewhere today, that they outlawed flights less than 2 hours in France. So that made sense because when I was there last time, I thought I caught a flight from Bordeaux to Paris and and then I ended up, it was a train. So I had to catch the train to Paris, and then from Paris, Charles de Gaulle, caught the flight to Germany. So yeah, don't get, if you're in Europe, make sure your flight ticket is not a train ticket combined with another flight ticket. Yeah, man. Okay, it's just news clips on your channel. Okay, gotcha. So you're not doing travel content. When you go to Florianopolis, it's pure you and family, I guess, if you're gonna be there with family. But leaving for Chile tomorrow, then off to Lebanon. Okay, but I thought about going to Lebanon a few years ago, and then I was talking to a girl that worked at the hotel I was in Amsterdam last year. Man, I don't even think I showed any of that video while I was in Amsterdam. I don't even think nobody knew I was in Amsterdam on YouTube. I was there last year, and the hotel, there was a girl that worked downstairs, and she was from Lebanon, and she was cool. We chatted for about an hour, and she was telling me about the problems in Lebanon. She was keeping it real. She was like, you can still have a good time and all that, but there's long lines for cash. You need to bring cash. A lot of places don't accept card. It's like, whoa, that it right there is a showstopper for me. So I gotta come with a bunch of cash, dollars even. That's what they prefer, dollars. So I gotta come with a bunch of dollars. People are in long lines for dollars. She made it sound like people ain't robbing other people for their personal possessions or money or nothing like that. But they will tear up the banks. Which, when I looked at the documentaries and stuff about what's going on in Lebanon, and you see people busting up in the banks, it sounds bad. But then again, I mean, I guess it is bad. It's bad, but it's bad for the population because they have their money in the bank. Like, imagine putting your money in the bank for 10, 20 years, your family put money in the bank. Maybe even, let's say even somebody in your family that, your mother, father has money in the bank, told you the money is in the bank. They're not letting you get all the money out. You can only come in and get $200 a week or something like that. And then imagine it, make it even worse. Imagine if that person who put that money in there and hasn't been able to get it out for a few years already is now deceased, from old age or whatever. And then it's on you now. And these people are giving you problems at the bank. That's I feel for that situation, bro, because and then you see people running up in the banks, holding up the bank manager at gunpoint. And you can tell a lot of it, it's like they don't want to hurt nobody. It's just like, yo, you got the money. You've been giving other people money. Give us our bread so we can get out of this situation. Because a lot of people, they just want to get their money and get out of the country. I don't know. I wouldn't want to put myself in that situation. And this is from what I know, right? I'm taking a little bit of the news and a little bit of what people have told me, and then a little bit about what I know about Lebanon from the past. And I know you're not going to get the real until you're on the ground over there, or you talk to somebody who just left there, like last week or something. But that's the, as I travel, solo as a civilian, like I'm not gonna be putting myself in crazy situations. I'm gonna try to move smarter. But some people, they want the adventure. They want to see all that. So good luck to you, Big Mike. Hey man, I think you was talking about Chile last month. Yeah, when we did a live out in me and Andre every other day, we did that live. I actually turned that live into a podcast. But you were talking about Chile, and I looked it up, and I was like, okay. But then I asked one of my boys who had been out there, and he was like, nah, don't go this time of the year. He's like, it's turning into the winter. It's a little too cold. Although I'm in Bogota right now, it ain't the warmest place either, but I'm familiar with Bogota, so yeah. But good luck out there, man. What I think about hitting up Argentina, kind of just what I talked about, man. I think it's the wrong time of year to hit up Argentina. Their situation, I don't think is as bad as Lebanon, but it's getting there. It's getting there, and I wish I had visited Argentina a little bit earlier. But then again, the dollar rate is really good. But one of my buddies that was in my Florianopolis videos, he went out there and he was showing me some stuff. He said it was getting colder, and he said that it was all these long lines for cash as well. And I heard about that situation before. Like, okay, there's the blue dollar rate, and it sounds like a good deal for us. So I think if you can get out there and you can work it out in your favor, it's going to be a massive. Dollar's going to go really far there. The problem though is you have to jump through all these hoops. You gotta. One girl I was talking to, she was explaining to me how it actually was. She gave me a real good breakdown of how to move out there, what apps to use to exchange money, everything like that. Um, I don't know. Maybe I might hit her up. Maybe try to do a live about her take on Argentina because she's half Argentinian and half European. So, and she goes out there pretty often as well. My Portuguese is lacking. I can get by with a little bit of Portuguese in Florianopolis. Yeah, yeah, you can. I would say you you got to be patient though. You can't be. Don't be in a rush for nothing. Don't. I'm not saying that people are like real slow and laid back and nothing like that. I'm just saying as a English speaker and non-Portuguese speaker, if you got a decent amount of Spanish under your belt, you probably gonna be able to figure out a lot of what you need to figure out. Um, so and depending on how long you stay in there too. If you're gonna be around, I would say if you're gonna be around for a month, you got time. That stuff will start soaking in some kind of way. You'll get your basic ingredients down. Obrigado. Uh, Shoot, for some reason that's all I remember off the top of my head. But um, you'll hear people saying things and you'll just repeat it. Like I said, if you got Spanish under your belt, I think it's much easier to move out. In most places out there, whether it's a cafe, restaurant, they got somebody there that speaks English. It might only be one person that they got to go get, but a lot of times they got somebody who speaks some English. Yeah, man, late night live. This was supposed to be an early morning live, and then I got distracted with the editing software had an update, and I was playing around with it like it was a new toy and trying to mess around with some stuff that I probably don't need to be messing around with for the type of edits I'm doing. I need to keep it simple and focus on the core things. But I was messing around with it, and then other people was going live, and then I was like, all right, let me just focus in on my editing. Went in on that, got it, got an idea formed up, and then I wasn't even this late in the evening. I wasn't even going to go live. Then I was like, okay, you know what? It's been a minute. I'm going live. I put a short out the other day, and it actually did well. And you know what, man? I hate shorts. It's not that I hate doing them. I like doing them. I just hate that. I don't know. This thing is out there now, and people like trying to build strategies on shorts. And I get it. If you're hacking your channel and is getting growth from it, by all means, do what you gotta do. But for me personally, it's just like a whole nother mind shift from the long form content. And I would say a 10-minute video is probably not even really long form. It's just medium, but it still has enough time to tell a story. And that's where I'm at. For me, that's long form. Doing a 10-minute or longer video and trying to give it to you in pieces where I'm not dragging you along too much. Um, so when I do shorts, it kind of takes away from the mindset I'm in for longer form. That makes any sense? I don't know. But um, yeah, oh yeah, at Big Mike. Is he still in Chile? Did he say he was in Chile? Oh yeah, he said he's leaving Chile tomorrow. Dang. Yeah, there was a minute. Yeah, Ozzy, you got a good point. I thought he was like something about Chile and then going to Lebanon. I was like, damn, this dude posted up in Chile, man. I didn't know you was gonna be there that long, bro. You got a wife out there? What? You guys building a family out there? Must be what's going on. Ah, bro, stop all that. Stop all that. I don't know. I can't say you. I have never been to Chile. Let me pre-reference it with that. Let me set it up that way. 'Cause I've never been to Chile. But after you talked about it on the live, the last live I did in Florianopolis, I did a little research, and I would say that this statement right here, this statement you talking about right here, from what I see of my research only online, right, is totally false. Now, of course, if you got receipts, you got receipts, and you do what you do, and it is what it is. I tell you the truth, everybody has their own opinion when it comes to beauty or even best places to be and stuff like that. Everybody has their own opinion. And to tell you the truth, I'm not really the guy that wants to prove this place has better looking women to somebody or better looking with anything. If you don't like what I like, cool. I ain't trying to convince you. I ain't trying to convince competition to come over to where I'm at. No, my friend. I'll just tell you what I think. And then if you got your own opinion, boom. You know what I mean? That's how it is. So I respect your opinion there, but for me, I would say that opinion is false. I'm just keep it 100 with you. And anybody else that you can do your research too. If you prove me wrong, I'm wrong. But that is one of those things that I hear a lot of guys comparing different places, Brazil, Colombia, blah 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 blah, and there are differences for sure. Um, but I feel like, especially powerhouses like Brazil, Colombia, right? Everybody in the world, even women, know that those two places have good-looking women, beautiful women on a higher scale than a lot of places. Um, but at the same time, there's beautiful women in parts of Africa. There's beautiful women in Europe. There's beautiful women in Asia. It just I do feel like places like Colombia and Brazil, they actually made it like a national at some point in history. I don't know if it's still like that, but at some point for a long time, they were taking pride into that, you know. Um, so much so that like you go to some of these places and even the Uber or cab drivers, like, oh, how you like it here? Like, hey, you like it? Oh, the women are good, huh? You like it? It's they ask you about the women or their coffee or tea or whatever else food they got. It's like they go hand in hand. Like, dang. So so it's a thing. Is Santiago the spot? I mean, yeah, I think yeah, he's answering it right there. Yeah. 'Cause I look at Chile on the map, that's all I saw was Santiago. Okay, best time to go to Chile is December, April. Yes. I think that's when I'll try to get back to that side of the world too. Is between November and April. I think that might be the new plan, my man. That might be the new plan. Like remember back in the day they used to always talk about snowbirds going down from up north on the East Coast going down to Florida. We ain't no snowbirds, man. We some I wouldn't even say geese. We some next level birds. You know what I mean? We flapping, we going long ways when we do one flap. We're like fly right by Florida Caribbean, South America, detour, maybe Australia. You never know. But yeah, I'd say, yeah, that's the plan, man. Like if I stay moving around, if I don't get pinned down in a place for whatever reason, might have some family stuff going on, or uh, some stuff to take care of in a certain place. I would like to be down in South America, southern South America, um, that time of year as well. I don't know exactly where. Maybe even move around, try out some places. You see, Big Mike, have you been to Paraguay? I heard good things there too. Yeah, Paraguay. I don't know. I don't know about that. Yeah, Big Mike, let us know. Let us know. Okay, Don Chili. Yeah, enjoying the perspectives. Yeah, man. Don Chili, he got a channel too, man. I was checking it out. He's in Colombia. Actually, I was checking out some of your videos, man. You were talking about you were comparing Medellin. I don't know if you're comparing exactly Medellin, but you said you were going to take you and the family down to Florianopolis, but then you had the detour because of a few things. You talk about the cultural history of Brazil, and the stuff they had with racism and stuff like that at one point in Brazil, and I think you mentioned it still lingers in the air. Shoot, man, we might need to do a live about that, but I think I'm gonna do another live later this week, or I'm gonna do a recording later this week with a Brazilian who's we talked about that in person, and it was an interesting conversation. So I want to kind of rehash it and record it, and then put that out as a understanding of what they got going on in Brazil as far as classes, races, whatever. I think it's more of a class thing now. Obviously racism still exists. Racism's everywhere. I don't know why some people really are of the delusion that we can get rid of it ever. I don't think that's a reality, because, just like, some skinny people are biased against fat people. Some fat people are biased against skinny people. That's people. You know what I mean? There's always gonna be something to argue about. So I think there's always gonna be a level of that going on. But I would like to have a more higher level discussion with somebody she's a thinker. She speaks good English. She was in my videos. She's the one that was if y'all follow me on Instagram, and I think I did the short too. She's the one laying on the rock, so I got the drone shot coming up. So, but yeah, she's got some interesting perspectives on her country, Brazil. So, but yeah, man, Don Chili, man, check his channel out, bro. He definitely got he's doing this thing out there in Medellin, outside of Medellin, I think. But yeah. Okay, you was in Chile for a year. Had a girlfriend over there. That's why. All right. Okay. That's what's up, though. I mean, hey, I'm pretty sure your Spanish is good too. If you had a woman, helping you out with the language, for a year, you're gonna be good. Yeah. I think you talking about my plan of staying south during their warm season and then coming up. Yeah. You know what's crazy is, man, so I left Brazil, it was starting to get, or Florianopolis was starting to get a little chilly down there. It doesn't get that cold. I said we was gonna look it up too, right? We're gonna look up the weather stats. I find women from everywhere attractive except Asian women. Dang. Okay. I care more about which countries are checking for us the most. I mean, that's a very valid point. I'm kind of with you on that, but there are some good-looking Asian women. I don't know. It's I do hear people more than any other place. I have heard people say that about Asian women, like, no, I just ain't into Asian women. Actually, I have people in my family tell me that. when I went when I went to Japan the first time, and I was living there for 3 years. I came back like the first year. My people was asking me like, "Yo, so you got a Japanese girlfriend?" I was like, "Yeah." It was like, "Oh, you find them attractive?" Like yeah. And then I was like, some of them, they was like, I don't ever see none that's attractive. I was like, first off, and you in the DC area, right? First off, in the DC area, when you see, especially back then, you see an Asian woman, you're not even really looking. You're not looking at all. And then the ones you see, you mixing them up with, you can see a pretty one, and then you saw her and her mother and her grandmother, and you just see Asians. You ain't even look at her. Yeah. So I think that's a lot of it right there. Because then that same person, when my Japanese girlfriend came with me back to the States on one of the visits when I brought her back, they turned they 180 that decision, bro. They was like, dang, they like that over there. Like, man, like, man, get out my face, man. Next time I came back, this dude had an Asian girlfriend. The one who in the beginning said he ain't want nothing to do with him. Some people in the fam might know what I'm talking about. But it was funny. But like it's not, and the thing is, I was proud that they made that turnaround. You know what I mean? Because I was a part of that. I was a part of that. Like, yeah, man, you can't no front. The world is out. If you're a man and you're attracted to women, you will see beauty in every part of the world. If you've been in one place and you just seen some of them come over to your part of the world and you're making decisions off that, that's valid, but it's not the full picture, friend. It's not. So I'll just leave it at that. Uh, yeah, that's a familiar story. People say they not into them, and then they get around them, and then they be like, or they get around the one or two that they needed to be around, and it's a wrap, buddy. It's a wrap after that. Yeah, Japan. It's funny because Japan does have a lot of typical looking. I would say once you see the Japanese look, there's a lot of that. But then there'd be a few you'd be like, whoa, okay. And then I see a lot of the ones that really will stick out. They kind of have a little different look and definitely um, can be more attractive for those who think they don't like Asian women. Will be the ones down in Okinawa because they and some people will say, "Oh yeah, because all the Marines that's been out there and all that, they might be mixed." That may be true, but the ones I seen that I was really attracted to didn't look mixed at all. They just looked, if anything, they might be mixed with like Southern Asian, like maybe. It seemed like at some point, maybe uh, like Southern Islanders, Southeastern Islanders. I don't know. They just got a more olive skin, a little bit thicker, uh, especially when it comes to the legs and thighs. I noticed that in Okinawa, you'll see some like that. Yeah, man. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, this. If you're a man, there's certain things you like, right? If you're a man, there's certain things you won't like. Like it's a lot of women don't have it all. Most women don't have it all, but certain things, there's certain shapes that women have that men don't have, right? It's like, and that's for good reason. Don't want hips. I've rarely, rarely do you see a dude, even if he's out of shape, you know, people say built like a woman, whatever. Even still, even those ones that got goofy looking shapes, a woman with hips is a different thing, bro. I don't know. I know a lot of people today, especially like, oh yeah, she got that, she got that ass on her and all that, or she got these breasts and all that, which is those are all great too. Don't get it twisted. But just some things that are strictly, well, obviously breast is strictly feminine, but hips is strictly feminine, bro. Like them curves they have, even the way their legs are sometimes is strictly a woman thing. And so a lot of the Asian women will have they might what they lack in abs, a lot of times they make up for in thighs and legs. If you like the thicker ones, and then even some of the ones that are slim still have nice shaped thighs. So it's kind of an interesting um, look when you see it. And of course, they got that silky smooth skin when they're young or when they keep it in good shape. That's one thing about dudes, man. Like if you get older, you can have rough skin, and it's just like, all right, you're just a dude that's aging. I think women still like men with good skin, but it's not as bad as a when women get have skin issues. It's a different ballpark. Sorry to say, just the reality of what we living in. I was in Okinawa when I was in Navy. Yeah, man. Yeah, White Beach. That's where them ships pull in at. Hey, Travelmatic, man. You got to calm down with the BBWs, man. They're gonna break your back. They got them out there in Japan too. I think they call them sumo wrestlers, man. You get you one of them female sumo. Do they got female sumo wrestlers? Trying to be. I saw a lot of sumo fights on TV when I was in Japan, but I don't think I ever saw the women doing that. Dudes getting lipo these days. Yeah, that's been happening, man. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in. I'm just me. I don't believe in dudes getting surgeries for enhancement purposes. Because I don't think it's really needed. I think like as soon as you decide to go to the gym or not even go to the gym, do some push-ups, do some pull-ups. As soon as you decide to get real with it, everybody respects it. you can still have a gut, but as soon as you decide to get real with something, you in the gym boxing or you lifting weights or you doing whatever you do, everybody as a man, everybody senses it and respects it. You can still be fat, but you doing something and you on your way, you know? I don't know. I feel like if you now obviously I think there might be, and I can't think of one, to tell you the truth. There might be a few cases where that it might absolutely be needed. But more than likely, even those cases, the medical industry, I think, is just lying to people to get their money, man. As a man, like you can get literally, you can go to a gym, go to a park, do some pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups, go there angry that you got to do it, and do it angry for 30 minutes a day, 3 to 4 times a week. As long as you keep it up for some weeks in a row, you gonna see benefits, bro. If not, then you're not doing it. If you do that for, let's say, 3 to 4 times a week, and you're not getting benefits, that's because you're going out and drinking a bunch of calories or eating a bunch of shit, or just you got some bad health practices that you already know is fucked up. So a lot of times, man, people just need to be real with themselves, get out there, get uncomfortable for a little while, get into a new routine. And then I tell you the truth, I think after 2 months of, maybe not even 1 month of getting into a different routine, it ain't even gonna be hard no more. You're just gonna be seeing results, and you'll be like, okay, yeah, I guess I'll just keep doing this thing. It's kind of boring. It ain't hurting like it used to, but I'm not, Anyway, yeah, man, we out here we just rapping, just getting BBLs. Oh no, don't say that. Don't say that. I wouldn't doubt it though. The way the world is going right now, I wouldn't fucking doubt it. Now, if you've played intense sports like track and field, uh, football, maybe even basketball, and you got that gene, as a guy, you're gonna have meat back there because that meat is muscle. You know what I mean? You've been running or whatever, and to tell you the truth, that gluteus maximus is the biggest muscle in the body, and what we know about building muscle is if you start here's one thing that they always talk about. If you start building your legs and ass, even as a guy, right, you just start doing those exercises, and you want to do some upper body, it'll be so much easier to build upper body after you primed your legs. It's just the way it is. Like, that's why you see a lot of uh black sprinters, or more sprinters that have the more of an African gene. You'll see them, the sprinters, they'll be bulky. It's like, yo, is this dude lifting weights? Probably a little bit, but not no more than any other sprinter would, right? But dude is just yoked because he's got all that muscle down there, and he's priming it too, which helps build bigger muscle up top. Yeah. So, but yeah, dudes don't need to be getting surgery. I don't care. The crazy part is I can see like some bodybuilders or people who making money off their body, maybe getting surgery. I still think that would be cheating, but I could I could see their reason for it. Anybody else that's going under the knife, risking your life, because the simplest surgeries you can die from you can die on the operating table, or you can die later from infections that you didn't know what went on when you were there. So those type of things you definitely have to keep into account. Why am I putting myself at risk like this? Just to have, suppose some dude is getting a bicep surgery to have a bigger looking bicep. You putting yourself at risk just for vanity purposes. I mean, women do it too. Women been doing it, and I still think that's wrong. To to put yourself under the knife for whatever. I mean, it's come to be accepted, especially like boob surgery. Um, and I can kind of see that because of the way the world is. Like, in certain parts of the world, especially if a woman has very little breast and she might be looked at a certain way. Um, I can see that because that's right up front. Like, you look at somebody's eye, they look down, they look back up, and they already treating you differently. I could see that struggle for some women, although I still don't think it's necessary. But anything going further than that is almost like, what are we talking about? You going in a night to have a bigger, like the BBLs, and I don't even know technically what a BBL is. I think it's just a butt surgery, I'm assuming, right? I don't know if I don't know the different types of butt surgeries. I ain't into that stuff. But I know a couple years ago, man, a lot of these women were getting butt surgeries, and you like that joint looked like you put a dodgeball, two dodgeballs back there. Them dodgeballs we used to play kickball with or dodgeball with, and the kickball or dodgeball, it was the same one back in grade school. Yeah, it looked like they just put them joints back there. Blah. What you doing? Your legs is like Look like you haven't even walked a mile in like 4 years. Your legs is looking frail, and you got this humongous, ridiculous looking thing on your back. Calm down. It ain't that serious. It ain't that serious. A lot of dudes be into that, like, oh yeah, but that joint look nice. Like, man, they all look nice when they in the right position. And you know the position I'm talking about. Yeah, big dog. That's what I'm saying, man. You know what I'm saying? It just like 2 dodgeballs back there, man. Gotta get out of the way of that thing, man. Let me see what you talk about here. I got more forehead than her. Shoot, man. Hold up. What you talking about? Lipo is no, but I do need them hair plugs, man. Them hair plugs, I was thinking about them too, man. I got some gaps. I got the gap. I got this African gap right here, man. It's growing. It ain't as bad as some of my African folks. That joint be back here. But they in their 20s. That joint back there. You know what I mean? I think my mom's side saved me a little bit. My mom's side tried to fight it. You know, and I never even cared about the corners until about maybe 5 years ago. But yeah, that is something, man, for dudes, you know, that going bald. Hey, speaking of that, I was fucking around on Snapchat today. When the last time y'all fucked around with Snapchat? Go to Snapchat, fuck around with them filters. They got this one filter on there. It'll have you looking like a baby, like looking like you at 12 years old, and you slide it, and that joint had you looking old. That joint is real though. That joint is on point. It's like they know people in your family that already got old. They put it on you. That's what it looked like. That I'm gonna look like that. The old version of that's gonna be me if I get to that age. That thing was scary, bro. Joint had your hairline residing back a little bit, and then getting gray, and then hair getting more frail, skin getting more rough. You know, just the little things like that. The Snapchat AI, they got that one down, bro. I ain't played around with them. Maybe y'all know some of my apps to be messing around like that, but I've seen some of the older ones, some of the older apps. You know, they age you and all that. But this joint, if you did that, if you went on the old side and you did the video and then you sent it to somebody, they wouldn't know that's an app. They wouldn't know that's not. And they hear your voice and you call them on the phone and you talking with them about something, and then you meet them in real life, they'd be like, who is this person? That'd be a good way to mess up a Tinder date right there. Or maybe not Tinder, but you know what I mean. One of them dating apps. But yeah, hair plugs, man. I don't know. I be hearing stories about that. Who got? It's a YouTuber who got some of them joints recently. I think. Oh man, it's gonna come to me in a minute. Who was it that had them hair plugs? QB Willie. I think he got them. Yeah, QB Willie. He be holding it down in Mexico. I don't know if he got him in Mexico or not, but yeah, man. They be looking like a bumblebee. You talk about the BBWs? Yeah, man. Okay, I did hear that too about Turkey. They got cheap hair implants, transplants, whatever it is. And then I was watching. Yeah, you checked out that Snapchat old filter? It ain't, nah, man. That Drake, bruh. But did I record that thing? Oh, let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can share this with y'all. Let me see. Oh yeah, yeah, I did. But hold up though. This other one right here that caught me off guard. that focus? I don't know. Then I just put a mustache on my neck. Your mustache a little bit. A little dye in it. What y'all think? Pretty good. Yo, that joint had me really thinking I was bald, man. All right, let me see if I can find the old one. I was messing around with that. That's another reason I'll be getting these videos. I'll be playing around with these. Yo, y'all ain't played around with these Snapchat filters. Look at this joint right here. Yeah, that was a little blurry, but oh man. Yeah, but then all of them look legit, bro. I don't think I did the old one or didn't save. Oh, here it is. Right here might be a must for a lot of people. Yeah. Like, we need to check this out and slide it on over. See what you look like as you get older. Damn. Ladies, you know. This is what it's gonna be like. Take a look at yourself, you know. I think I'm right about here right now. I'm right here. Shoot. Yeah. But it's yeah, so what I was saying with them filters is a lot of these young ladies out there that got these, you know, delusions of grandeur in their head. They need to go ahead and take a look at that filter. Slide it on over. And you know that for a lot of people, they're gonna start hitting the upper end of that filter about 42, depending on how you living. 42. If your body index is in good shape and all that, that's a good indicator that you might be able to push it out another 5 years. But yeah, man, we all heading there. We all heading for that upper room, you know. That movie Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence, that shit was hitting, nigga. That's a classic. Going to that upper room, nigga. We on deck. I think it was probably like 60s and 60s, 70s. They was probably in the 70s at that point in the movie when they was talking about that. But yeah, another interesting topic too was, so I went out with a young lady out here earlier this week or last week, and we went around town, whatever, and got a little something to eat somewhere later in the evening. And she mentioned to me, well, early in the day, she was like, you know, she asked if I had any kids and if I wanted any, right? You know, just wasn't like she was trying to trap me or nothing like that. But she was just asking. I was like, nah. I was like, you? She was like, nah. Went on a date. Then later in the day, we was talking about something, and the subject came up about, and she came out the pocket and said this, and I was like, hold up, let me take a sip of this right quick. She came out of the pocket and said, you know, men are different than women. Men have multiple seasons in life. Women only have one season. I was like, what you mean? She's like, yeah, we only get, you know, our one season. And I think she's about 26, 27. And she said, you know, women, we only have one season. And then that's it, right? Men, you have multiple seasons where you can have children, start a family, all that. I was like, you know what? You are right. I mean, I've known this. This is not new news to me. but it's the first time I've ever heard it come from a young woman's mouth. I think I've heard older women say it, women that are in their 50s even say that, but a young woman who's, I would say, arguably still in her prime saying that, I was like, bruh, I know it's not like that in Latin America, but I've never had one explicitly tell me that before. And I was just like, yo, there is hope in this world. There is hope. There are smart young people who are not bought into all the stuff that's getting pushed on them. Um, but to tell you the truth, I think, by her saying that too, and I'm not saying I need to get with her or she's trying to get with me, anything like that. But when a young lady says something like that, it's like, okay, if if she wanted some advice or something in life about a dude she's messing with or whatever, I got her back now. You know what I mean? Because I know where her head is at. I know she's in a good place. And it's funny because there might even be, you know, maybe not me specifically, because I don't have too many young women in my family right now. But there might be some people who, there's young women in their family who are just denying a lot of nature, and you can't talk to them because if you try to, they try to buck back. And you meet a young lady like this who you barely even know, but she's spitting facts, and all right, well, if I needed to, I could help you out with something because I know you're a real woman. I know you keep, when I say real woman, I mean you keeping it real. You know what I mean? You're vulnerable. You realize your vulnerabilities, like we all have. Men have different vulnerabilities than women do, different situations, all that. But to act like we don't have them, for a woman to act like she's not vulnerable or that she doesn't have a time expiration for certain things that happen in her life that is much shorter than a man's, is ridiculous. And it's actually harmful to the continuation of, you could say the species, but even cultures, different cultures, whatever, because those who are susceptible to the ridiculousness of what's being pushed out there, you will be wiped out. Your culture will be gone if you think all that stuff they talk about is real. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just a purge of all the stupid people, you know? And I'm not saying just because you don't have kids that you're stupid. I'm not saying that. I guess if that was the case, I'd be one, right? But what I am saying is the people who buy into all of what's going on, if they buy into it long enough, they're just not gonna, those type of people aren't gonna be around anymore. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I kind of went on a tangent detour, you know what I mean? I went off to the side on it, but yeah, man. Okay, hold up. What about weight loss or weight loss surgery with loose skin? See, now that is a case I'd be like, okay. And to tell you the truth, if you had weight loss, if this is my opinion, it's Tay's opinion. So if somebody's doing it and they decided to do it, they ain't gonna dissuade nothing they about to do because of what I'm saying. But yes, I would say if you've had weight long enough, if you've been heavy long enough and you lost the weight, exercise, whatever, and then you get a surgery to tighten up the skin, I would say, I think a lot of people could understand that, you know. I could understand it. But it's even those type of surgeries, I would think they're relatively light surgeries, um, not too invasive. I could be wrong. I mean, you could probably still have complications from anything. But yeah, that's one that I would, if I knew somebody and they did the hard work of losing the weight, and then the only thing they can't help is that loose skin. Yeah, I'm right with you. Unfortunately, with modern medicine, women can wait longer and longer. Not, if you ask me, I think that's false. I know there's women that have had women or have had children later in life, but uh, yeah, a mom at 45. I mean, even pops. I mean, we got the dudes that are in their well into their 50s, even 60s in other parts of the world that are having have kids, right? But the thing about a father is, right, father gives the seed, provides the money, stability. In most cases he doesn't have to physically defend too often, right? And hopefully if he's older with age and has money, he has things that do that defending for him, whether it's security or just having a house in a secure area, stuff like that, right? So he's providing that security through the unit of money, right? The thing about that though is a father could die the next year, still set that kid up for life, right? It won't be as optimal, obviously, if he's around at least until the kid is in his teens or young adulthood. Even that would be more optimum. But a mother, imagine a mother giving birth at 45, right? And then the birth goes well, but the mother is constantly having health issues for the next few years. I could see that as being a very, very likely thing that could happen. And then she's having health problems, so she can't be as motherly. Like mothers actually have to do now. I would say, obviously, if a mother is in her 40s or even past mid 30s, even mid 30s is late, but it's kind of like late. And if it's a healthy woman, Mike can still work out pretty good. But in the 40s, bro, I don't. It's something about giving birth. I think as a man, I think we take it lightly. When I even see women give birth on TV, the fake births, I start getting uncomfortable. But like, it's just one thing. I don't think I'm no punk dude, but when it comes to that, I'm a punk. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is. So it's something I don't know anything about. My cousin's a doctor, right? He was delivering babies for a little while. He's like, "Hey man, you want to come in?" I was like, "Hell no, nigga, ain't going in there. Ain't going in there." Even when he was just showing me the stuff on the graph, like you could be in the waiting room and see like different patients. This was before he was a doctor, right? Like when they was all the medical students were out there, and you can see the graph, right, of the contractions and all that. Even that, I was like, oh man, I'm straight. I don't even want to deal with none of that. But I think as a man, we kind of take a lot of that stuff for granted. I think childbirth is a very serious thing, and modern day medicine has got it down to a science, especially if the woman's young, healthy, good condition, and all that. But once you start going and trying to push the boundaries of nature's boundaries of that, right now, I don't think it's as easy as we think it is. I don't. I wonder how many of those who are over that age, 45, 45 plus. I don't know, man. I think that's got to be 45. Got to be one of the Guinness Book of World Records type of thing right there. But even that, I wonder how their health is years after, because that wrecks even a lot of young women. It wrecks their body, changes them. Um, Now, if a woman has been having a bunch of kids her whole life, and she's, her system can put them out like that, then maybe. But if I had a wife, you know, and she was that, I wouldn't even want to put her through that. I don't care what medicine got going on. If I had a daughter or a cousin or any woman that I cared about, her going through that at 45, whatever the medical procedure is, unless it's like, okay, you got pregnant and it's just an embryo, and they go in and put it in like a matrix embryo type bubble for the next 4 months, then maybe that might not be dangerous to her, but that don't seem right either. That don't seem right. So I don't know, man. I feel like we need to stop that experimentation, but I don't know much about it either. Why did it come out like that? The emojis came out in text form. Face blue smiling. Face blue smiling. Okay, yeah. Maybe that's a different emoji. But yeah, is my music still playing? Some different music in it. Barely even heard it. I think it's called Night Driving. Yeah. I don't know, Ozzy. I don't think there's too many women going through that procedure, to tell you the truth. I know they might use that in talking points. I'll be like, hey, who you know that did that at that age? They'd be like, it was this woman in the newspaper. Who you know that did that? Nobody? Oh, okay. What the hell we talking about? I don't know. I feel like today's world, a lot of people will argue a subject that like is totally legit, and they ain't about to do it themselves in no way, shape, form, or fashion. So that's how it is. Oh yeah. So on the other note, if y'all saw the short that I did yesterday, there's a friend out here. Uh, she came out with her dude. They were out here. We was, taking some photos, video, whatever, and she knocked out some chin ups, pull ups, whatever. And she's also a creator. I think she has a following on TikTok and Instagram. And then last time, maybe a year and a half ago, I told her to get up on YouTube, because YouTube is a better platform for that. I think she has maybe 1,000 followers right now on YouTube. Let me see if I can pull up her channel. I'll put up her channel right here. But and a lot of her stuff is all in Spanish, so y'all wouldn't even really, most of y'all wouldn't really vibe with it too much, but maybe, you can see. That's not it. Somebody else got a very similar name. What the hell? Man, I can't pull it up. Anyway, we had a lengthy discussion about YouTube and how to get. They were saying, "Oh, YouTube's a lot of work." Da da da. I was like, "But you got 1,000 subscribers already." I was like, They were explaining to me the watch hours. I was like, "Okay, do some lives. If you're new on YouTube and you're trying to hit that 4,000 watch hours, you need to do lives, and if you can hold two people's attention for an hour or 45 minutes even, and you'll get better at it, I'm assuming, Go from there. I was trying to explain that although I don't want my channel to be just lives, and you don't want the algorithm to skew it like that, but when you're trying to get the 4,000 watch hours, you might need to do them lives, bro. You gotta do them lives. Get it up there. And then after that, come up with your strategy if you want to make videos and all that. But it's funny because a lot of stuff I'm explaining to her, the information, well, nobody really talks about that when it comes to lives. They don't really mention that, like when you're trying to break 4,000 watch hours, which is like the hardest thing. People mention like, okay, as soon as you can do lives, do a live and blah blah blah. But really, when you want to go from just having 1,000 subscribers, which is one of the metrics before you can get in the partner program on YouTube, and then getting paid, the big berry is the 4,000 watch hours. That's the hard one to crack. But if you can build a following somehow, like I said, even 2 to 5 people in the chat for 10 minutes or more a piece, and you do a live, or if you have an interesting subject, or you're at an event and you're showing something, combine all that. Like I'm going in on these lives until I get my 4,000 watch hours. You probably can do it in less than a couple months, a few months. Let's say 4 months or less. Probably can get, and that's the crack. That's the hack right there. And I kind of did some lives, and then I was like, I did some with Ace. I was like, all right, cool. Them definitely drawing the most watch hours when I was starting out. Now I got some videos that have pumped past that, but the thing about lives is the live watch hours, they're almost immediate or within that few days, and then they go cold. But versus like videos, if you do a good video, it will just keep rolling and rolling and rolling for years. I mean, I'm starting to see that now with some of the videos I've done. I got one that's rolling a lot, and I was lucky that it was 8 minutes, so I can actually make some money on it, or a good amount of money on it, where you can put ads in. And that was before I could even get paid for YouTube. I was like, all right, let me try to make an 8-minute video. Then I made another one that's getting a lot of views now, but it was a minute short. So it's getting a lot of views even still to this day, but I'm not getting that much money from it because it wasn't at the length where you can put ads in it. So that's another thing too. I think for a lot of you new YouTubers, as soon as you can, just start making your content at length, 8 minutes or more. I would say if you go for 10 minutes is probably best, but 8 minutes is really the cutoff. Where you might not be getting paid now, but if you implement that live strategy and then you make your videos 8 minutes or more, when you get to that point where you can just go back and monetize those and go from there, All right, let me get to some of these questions. Dang, I didn't even see this one. Declining birth rates across the world except Africa. Just give it 200 years. Yeah, so the decline of birth rate, they not even saying 200 years. They saying we're gonna feel that impact. I think they said by the world is really gonna have adverse impact by I think they said 20 before the end of this century. So 2080, something like that. It's going to be mainly, places are going to be mainly 80-year-olds. There's going to be more 80-year-olds dying off than there are new people being born, which sounds crazy. In the Western world, that's like the US, Europe, and all that. So, you know, a lot of times people be talking about this immigration thing and all that, but like the West needs immigration to do the jobs, you know, that are needed. Until AI and robots get there, then I don't know what's gonna happen then. The world's gonna be a totally different place. But yeah, there's a lot of things, a lot of factors in place that just seem it seems to me, when you look at the big picture, it just seems like the whole purpose is just to slow people down, slow the production of people down. Like you're growing crops. It's like they're just putting in all kind of strategies just to, you know, have less of it growing. You know, so a lot of these social ideas that are going around the world today, and then you see them getting resisted in other places of the world. They know, they already know what's going on. They keeping it very simple, and a lot of times that's all you need to know. Oh, here's one video.
You see, sir, you have a
I'm gonna just let y'all hear it.
You have in your country 7.8 million more women than men. If every man in America got married, there will be still 7.8 million women who will not be able to get husbands. And we know every man will never marry. Man gets cold feet for so many reasons. You know that? There are 25 million sodomites. You call them gays. Another 25 million women can't get husbands. Then your prison population, 98% are males. Your prison population, 98% are males. I said, your problem is getting compounded. You laugh at us. I said, the laugh is on you. The laugh is on you. Marry women of your choice by 2s and 3s and 4s. But if you cannot do justice between them, marry only one.
So that was old dude. I don't know. I just saw that that was like in my Instagram feed. Nobody sent it to me. It was just something. I don't know how old it is or where it's from or nothing like that. But it was facts though. Facts, man. A lot of people don't want to hear that type of stuff. Oh, what's all that? What you mean what it is? It's this straight, it's the truth. You don't want to hear it. You see people converting to Islam because they more in tune with family values right now. It's the one, you know, whether you're into religion or not, it's the one institution that's around the world where the men and women have roles, and those roles are respected. And I'm not gonna say like I agree with everything in the Quran or the Muslim religion. And actually, I don't know a lot about the Muslim religion, to tell you the truth. But what I do know is the family thing there is not just a how can I say, like in the Latin culture, family is revered, right? But the culture is being infiltrated by the West, the ideas of the West, and it's being separated. And a lot of people don't even realize what's happening. They just thinking they're getting some new thing they can do and blah blah blah. But the Muslim religion, to me, what it seems like is they have a resistance towards any of that stuff that's gonna break up the family unit. Like if you come with some ideas that's gonna chop up the family unit, they proactively coming at you. So it's like the one institution that I can think of worldwide that is actively resisting a lot of the tactics that they're trying with the separation of family. Now, so I can see, like, you know, certain people, certain internet personalities converting to Islam or going to Islam. Even, you know, you think back to Muhammad Ali. When he did it, it was not popular back then. And he was anti-war and all that at the time. the Vietnam War. But you look at it and you think like that was a real dude. That was a real dude, man. You know, he wasn't afraid of conflict. And I think today we definitely have a lack of that. Obviously, you got platforms that, you know, we saw what was happening during the pandemic, right? So they've already curtailed our speech even. You know, you want to make that dollar and you want to be out here, you gotta behave. You gotta behave. You gotta follow the algorithm or what they want you to do. But when it comes to a lot of that other stuff, it's, you know, the biggest scheme of things. I think we're living in a time where, like the medieval times, where if you look back, and I'm gonna get to this in a second. Yeah, Janet Jackson, man, she might have had a kid at 50, but you know, the Jackson family is definitely great musical, entertaining family. But I wouldn't take their advice on nothing else if it didn't have to do with music or entertainment. And I love Michael Jackson. I love Janet Jackson too. I love their music. But we already know, if you old enough, you already know, like they got a lot of stuff going on in that family. So good on her though. And she got the finances to do it and to hold it up, or if some adverse stuff happens, they got the finances to make it right. And you probably gonna need a lot of it, which they are not gonna share with the public, how much they spend it. Yeah, man, that's in Bogota. Yeah, so it's actually her channel I was talking about. I broke it down, the whole live feed thing, doing lives to her and her dude. Um, and I think her boyfriend is the editor for a lot of her stuff. But she has a lot of energy, man. I think she got more swole since the last time I was here. I think she been hitting the gym, bro. But actually, I got some video. If y'all saw the live I did with her and some of her friends in Bogota, like last year, we in a park. I'm taking pictures of them and all that, and we were doing that on a live feed. I got some video of that from the good camera, and I need to put it together and put it out some kind of way. It doesn't have a real story. It's just us hanging out in the park and me videoing different segments of it. So we'll see. Might be able to get something out. But it's not a priority right now. Priority is Florianopolis. Getting that in Brazil, getting that stuff out. Like I said, I might do one longer form video, like a wrap up of Florianopolis. And I still might have one or two little ones to push out, either maybe before and after the wrap up. Yeah. But yeah, Florianopolis was good, man. I'm definitely be heading back in Brazil in general. I think next time I go to Brazil, I want to hit up different parts of Brazil, but I'm going to end up in Florianopolis at some point. I could do 500 shorts, bruh. 500? I don't know about that. I'm thinking, see, this is the thing. I don't want, and I could be wrong about this. I'm probably wrong about a lot of stuff when it comes to this YouTube algorithm. But I want to give YouTube a few shorts, maybe like most, maybe 4 in a week. That's the most. I might try that actually, maybe 4 in 1 week and see how that goes. But I think beyond that, then you're turning into something else. And then if I do 4 in a week, I need to have a main video that week too, a long form video. I can't just do 4 in 1 week and just, and then the algorithm be looking at me like, where the shorts at? Where your next short at? And I'm like, nah, bro, I ain't doing that. Because shorts don't pay. That's one thing they don't do. They give you some views and you might get a few subscribers. But shorts don't pay nothing. Nothing. This dude's out there getting millions of views on shorts. Imagine that. Imagine this. You get 7 million views on some shorts in a month, right? And you get $1,000 for 7 million views. And then you turn around and get a long form video, say 10-minute video, and it gets, in a month, let's say it gets 200,000 views. Nowhere near 7 million, but 200,000 views in a month, that might be like $10,000. Oh, it's a couple of thousand for sure. And yeah, versus 7 million. Actually, I don't know. It depends on the length of the video, and the drop off rate and all that, like how long people stay watching, all that. But my point is, you could just make, okay, let's say you made 3 videos, 10 minutes or longer. Each one got 100,000 views, 300,000 views on each of those videos, or 100,000 views on each of those videos, 300,000 total. You're going to be into the thousands. Versus shorts, you putting out, 4 shorts a day, and in a month you get millions of views on them, and you made pennies on each one of those, fractions of pennies. No thanks. Only reason I'm doing shorts, to me, shorts is like spice. It's like salt. If you only eating salt, you got problems. If you throw a little bit of salt on a steak, you know what I mean? You got a steak and you throw some seasoning on that thing, yeah, it's perfect. Spice it up. That's all shorts is. I don't care what none of these YouTube influencers talking about. I went to some meetups, and when shorts this was like when I was in Vegas last year, before me and Ace went to Vegas. I was in Vegas before by myself, and I was there for this conference, and they were talking about shorts. And even at the conference, they was talking about shorts, and I was talking to other people. I was like, shorts is a gimmick, bro. I mean, me and Ace talked about shorts before, and it was like a, kind of like going back and forth, like, oh, well, maybe it is something. And then by then, I was already seeing it. And they was like, oh yeah, shorts is gonna come out with their monetary. You better be on shorts, because when they start bringing money, and da-da-da-da-da. Like, y'all sound like clowns, bro. How is advertisers ever going to pay you more for shorts than they would for a video where you hold their attention and you're building that skill of holding people's attention? And people was buying off on it, like, oh yeah, you gotta go in all of those shorts and TikTok. Although there are some creative people that are on TikTok, some things going on there. But if you think you're going to have a lifestyle off TikTok, you're going to be working your ass off. And it's going to be all work. It ain't going to be no fun. The people who do fun on TikTok and making videos, they get a bunch of views and all that. They're not making no money. If you want to make the money, you got to punch past all them, punch much higher, get much higher views, get the brand deals, keep the brands happy with your little 30 seconds. Find a way to entertain your people, 20 or 30 seconds, whatever it may be. Find a way to entertain your people and put in their brand on it, and not, just all this little micro adjustments when you ain't even doing nothing, but it's stressing you the hell out. No thanks, bro. I'd rather, take my time, for me, is I'm making a masterpiece. For y'all, it might be, oh, that joke was all right. Hey, it wasn't no masterpiece. But my point is, when you're doing long form, you're cultivating a skill set, storytelling, visual telling, even photography. When you're doing photography, you're thinking about certain things. You're thinking about a position, rule of thirds, whatever it may be. You're using lighting, foreground, background lighting, aperture, shutter speed, all this stuff. Even photography, and it goes into videography too. That's a lot of what you're spending time on, but those things pay dividends. Every advertisement we've already seen in life had people who were thinking about those things, right? And trying to hold people in for more time. Now, I'm not going to say that shorter form doesn't have its place, but right now it's like the crack epidemic of short form content. We in that period. We're in the crack period of short form. So I think, like I said, short form content is like salt, spice on a good meal. It can make it hit a lot better, but it's not the meal. It ain't never gonna be the meal, in my opinion. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Seeing that's the trend these days. Yeah, it is. It's the trend. But here's the thing about trends. As soon as you spot it as a trend, it's already dying. It's already got an expiration date. As soon as you say something is a trend, it already has an expiration date. So some trends are worth jumping in for a little bit, but then if you know it's a trend and you're getting in for the temporary benefit, that's cool. But how long you gonna ride? And if you thinking the trend is the new reality, I don't know. Because to me, trends are something that come up out of nowhere. All of a sudden, everybody knows about it. Last year, nobody knew about it. This year, everybody knows about it. And it's not like with some things you'd be like, well, I didn't know about it till this year. Well, that was you. You wasn't paying attention, but it was here. When it's just like it pops up out of nowhere, and then everybody's on it. And then everybody's excited about it, and then it fades out. It could come back. But when it comes back, it's gonna be totally different. And it's not like investments, right? Investments do that. All kind of investments do that. They have their curve, they go up, and then all you have to do is identify, do they have a reason to stick around for a long time or for longer? Even if nobody's paying attention, do they still have a space, a need? If they do, you can get in on that trend when nobody's paying attention, even after they all left, and then maybe it'll pop back up. And that could happen with short form, but it's gonna be different. And the fact when everybody was pushing it and all that, and long form is never going away. Long form is never going away. Look at this right here. I'm a nobody on YouTube, and there's 7 of y'all in here in the chat, and we've been here for 2 hours. And I appreciate that. But my point is, we all need some long form. Now, if I know I'm gonna be doing a long live, I'm not gonna be all hype and yelling all over the place, especially at this late in the evening where most of my subscribers live in the this time zone where I know it's getting late. It's just one of those things. You think about like what we've consumed, what we like consuming, how we like consuming it. Short form is like, how do you consume it? Boom, you just scroll through. Another point on short form. So I was mentioning this to Katia, strong girl, right? She was we were discussing the pros of YouTube, right? And I was like, well, on TikTok, you might have 100,000, 200,000 subscribers. I don't know what she got. I know she had a lot. I think on Instagram, let me see what her Instagram is right quick. I can share her Instagram with y'all right quick because I have that ready. Let me see, who is that? Some people be popping up on Instagram. I don't know who they are. Okay, so on Instagram, she's got 21,000. I'll show y'all her Instagram right quick. If y'all want to follow her, y'all can. Y'all see that? That should be clear now. Right there. That's her gram. So she's definitely, has a following on Instagram. I don't know what her TikTok is. I don't have TikTok on my phone anymore. But the thing about the short form content in general, Instagram may be a little different, but TikTok, I know they would mention this. It's hard. There's no community on TikTok. People might follow you, but it's just like, okay, they just want to tailor their feed of stuff they want to see. So they're not stopping on you and checking out what you're doing, right? Even Instagram followers, I think there's, you can probably build a better community on Instagram because you can go live on there. I think you can do it on TikTok too, but I feel like Instagram might have a little bit better community building tools. I don't know, but the best by far is YouTube, because YouTube, you can do short form, shorts, long form, meaning anything over a minute, right? From a minute to 2 hour live. And YouTube is on all platforms, my friend. Smart TV. I got the video going right now on smart TV, laptop, phone, iPad. It's everywhere, right? So the fact that you can be talking to people, going live, having this chat like this, where we can, I can respond to comments. Yeah, so yeah, the real ones have good attention span. I mean, to tell you the truth, I think it's our generation, right? Like generation, what do they call us? Generation X and older. We're used to consuming long form content. We'll get our brain settled and relax, get in a good place, especially if it's in the evening, right? During those shorts, the way most people like to consume them is probably in the morning, or maybe some people might be while they driving, which is crazy. Right? If that's what you're really doing on a regular, on the toilet, it's toilet material. That's what short form is. A lot of it is just, or in the elevator or something like that. If you got reception in there, I guess. Instagram is kind of like I feel like Instagram Reels and all that is kind of like a more suited up version of short form, but it's still short form. And I don't know, tell you the truth, I need to figure out how to maybe monetize Instagram and maybe push forward on that, because I do like the tools they have for recommending music on Instagram. Like it's pretty easy to make short form on Instagram, but also I feel like because it's so easy, I feel like there's this it's harder to stand out, right? Because you can't really express yourself. There ain't but so many ways you can express yourself in, you know, less than a minute. You can tell a story, it's gonna have to be rapid. Like here I was, did this, and then I did this, da-da-da-da. And when I think about doing something like that in short form, the only way I see it is if I'm giving some concise information about, let's say, a hotel. Like somebody mentioned about price, cost of living in certain places. Like you can do stuff like that, or a restaurant. Like, okay, I went to this place. I had walked in here. This is what it looked like. I sat down at my table. I got this meal. Blink, you show the meal. This is how much it costs. Oh, this bye. That is, as silly as it sounds, is probably the most purposeful form of short form you can do. I've seen some other ones that are pretty good at giving information in a concise form quickly. And I think that is a lot of work. That's a lot of work. I think women can hold attention better, obviously, just off of, their look. That's one advantage, especially young women have, right? They can hold men and women, other women's attention just by presenting well, having a cute face. Nice. That's enough to hold us for 5 seconds. Now, on top of that, if you're talking about something that's even just a little bit interesting, you got us for longer, right? So they have that advantage. But the problem is there's a lot of young women doing that. And to stand out now, they have to be either better looking than the most of them, or giving better information, or both, and stuff like that. So I feel like it's, for women, it could be a downward spiral, right? Because it makes you very, very self-conscious. Glad I don't have to deal with that. Glad I can be just a ugly dude, get on camera, talk about something talk about some place I went with a little bit of confidence, and somebody will watch it. The record's proven somebody will watch it. It won't go with 0 views unless YouTube backstab me somehow, which they could always do, I guess. Their platform. Yeah. Let's see. Comments on TikTok are not as genuine as well as feedback. Yeah. So that conference, they had a conference. I didn't go to it, but there was some conference, I think VidCon, and they had a bunch of YouTubers there, social media people there, influencers, and TikTokers. Sorry. And for the YouTubers, you come to it, nothing like that. You see your favorite YouTuber, you're like, oh man, I appreciate your work, blah, 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 blah. But with TikTokers, they said people had millions of followers, and they was at that event, and they had their little section. Nobody. Imagine that, the followers, and you had a social media event where you can meet your favorite social media influencers, and nobody comes over there. Even the event I went to, right? It was mainly for YouTubers, but there were a few TikTokers there, and it was one guy I met, older guy, and he was there with his daughter, and he said his daughter did a TikTok, and she got like certain millions of views on her TikTok, and she was pretty shy. She wasn't claiming to be an influencer or nothing like that, but she did have that one that went kind of viral on TikTok. And I looked at it, I saw her stuff. I was like, okay, cool. Did she have anything else that went big like that? And she was doing all right as far as numbers wise on TikTok. but you could just see it, right? It's a different vibe that TikTok is. Um, and I think she was there mainly to maybe learn more about social media in general, or YouTube, because I think her dad was actually be like, yeah, we could try to get her on YouTube and doing her thing. I was like, yeah, man, that's the way to go. I think in the somebody like that, and you have your parent behind you like that, taking you to events. You know, he was actually talking with other YouTubers. I think when you have that type of backing or environment, I think it makes it easier to grow. Because I personally, from what I've seen in this social media thing, I think family is like the last one. You already been done made it in the family doing like, oh yeah, at least most of them. Yeah, you see you doing the YouTube, blah blah. They skeptical all the way until you already crushing it. Then they want to hop on and congratulate you. And that's not. I'm not speaking just me. From a lot of different YouTubers. So it's what it is. Yeah. What's good? Cause I can. Yeah. Just out here, man, living it, talking about what we talk about. We talking about all kind of stuff, man. Travel, where to travel in 2023. Uh, Brazil, Colombia. We got into some deeper topic for a little bit, or I did, I guess. Most people just listening. It ain't like they was really asking me about it. I was just going off. I think at some point, man, we need to get we need to have some of y'all call in at some point. I mentioned it before. Nobody seemed interested. Everybody just. I think one time somebody was like, "Oh yeah, man, I would, but I'm driving." So I get it. It's we don't have that it's not that expectation here that you need to call in, but it would be cool. Maybe get one or two people in, do a little chat at some point. It's an easy thing here. I just hit the link, and then jump in. It'd be cool to talk about a subject, but yeah, that's how it is, bro. But that's how it is with everything, right? Like not just social media or YouTube, but with YouTube is really like that. And the funny part about with this stuff is it's I get it too, right? Like you could see somebody doing something online, you're like, oh man, what's this dude doing? Is he really about to do this? What's he talking about? But by now, in 2023, and there's people who still skeptical about YouTube. Actually, even in 2021, I felt like you was late if you was thinking this was a joke. You just slow in the head, you know. But even then, most people were slow, and I think it's always like that. But here it's a little bit different because they can see what you're doing, So all your not just people that don't don't want to don't want to comment, don't want to like, don't want to do nothing, don't want to support no kind of way, even though they already in there, right? So they can watch you doing all this stuff and then just be in the back hating, slide eye and hating. They can do that here. Easy, But to be, how can I say it? To be pretty honest, it actually works against anybody who does that. I'm not talking about my people or anybody like that. But what I'm saying is anybody who does that type of behavior, it's a strike against you. Like it cuts you down. Like I'm not this is no hyperbole. Like it saps your energy when you do that. Like you can't, it's like your life is a race. You know, you're constantly moving, trying to move forward. When you do stuff like that, you're putting sand in your boots and in your pants, just weighing you down and grinding your feet. When you do certain things you do are just not going to help you. And certain things you do are just going to make things worse for you every time you try to move, because you got this idea like, oh, damn, I'm doing what this dude was doing. Yeah, because that dude was doing what you should have been doing. But yet now you got hate for this person or some type of animosity. And instead of you doing exactly what this person did, and maybe even tapping them for information, like, hey man, yeah, I ain't really know what was going on at first, but I see what you're doing, man. That's different. That deserves some I won't even say admiration. No, I'm not trying to say that. But just some appreciation. Okay, you're doing something a little different, outside the box. This is a lot harder than I thought it was, type of thing. We don't have a lot of that in most groups of people, right? It's like maybe it's kind of like against human nature. I don't know, but I would say in the Black communities, it's even worse. Like we will hold each other. I won't even say hold each other down, but we definitely don't. You know, we don't tap on the back, push, and then follow and form as a team and move forward. You know, you watch birds flocking from north to south or south to north, and they fly in a group. There's one up front, everybody's lined up. That one up front is cutting the wind, and everybody who's not cutting the wind, they appreciate that, right? And dude cut the wind as long as he can, and then as soon as he can't or he need a break, duck off to the side, somebody else jump in. Boom, right there. Ain't no hating. You know what I mean? I'm riding off your draft. Boom. Packs of animals. Whether you talking about wolves, African wild dogs, hyenas, packs of lions, even killer whales. You know, they all move in packs, bro. Drop back. Somebody might be the lead for a minute. You know, drop back, need a break, somebody else take the lead. You know what I mean? Then if you at some point might break off and have two different packs, you know, go separate ways. We can learn a lot from animals, man. I watched a lot of animal documentaries growing up, but there's a common thing you see of the successful species: teamwork, bro. You don't get nowhere without it. And you ain't gotta be the best team player initially, you know. But you gotta realize you gotta be on a team. We all on a team. You here by yourself. Ain't nothing you did original. Nothing. People be on that all the time. I be on that sometimes. Like, oh yeah, I'm doing something different. Not really. You know, when you really break it down to the bigger scheme of things, I could even say I was the first one to do this thing amongst this small group. So what? Like, okay, and somebody else told me that, it's like, okay, cool. But all we're trying to do is improve. Can we improve our situation? I see people getting caught up in a lot of issues, man. a lot of issues, and it's hard not to, right? Like we're all fallible to those type of things, right? But I see people getting caught up in a lot of useless issues. When I say useless, I mean it's just draining energy, whether it's politics, blah blah blah, all of this other stuff. And I see it, and the only question I have, and there's valid excuses or valid terms to be involved with all those things, right? But what's your purpose in getting involved with that at all? If it's not to improve the situation, to make things better, then what are we talking about? I hear some arguments, people talking about things. I'm like, you're just, and we've all done it before, including me. You're just arguing your point to argue your point. A lot of that is going on today. I'm not doing that no more. A couple years ago, I was like, I ain't arguing to be arguing. My point is, if I'm arguing about something, it's because I believe it improves the situation. But I hear people who will argue against me just because they want to sound like they right. Ego, right? And I understand ego. I understand people have it. We all have it to a degree. But I feel like as you get more knowledgeable, you got to realize, like, ain't no reason to be wasting time on that. What's the point? What are we talking about? Improving something or preventing something? It could be improving things or stopping things from that will take us backwards from happening, right? Both will be a form of it. One will be proactively and then maybe reactive. But that's all every issue boils down to. Everything. And if you can't break it down like that, you will be manipulated till you die. You will be manipulated every left, right, up, down, all kind of ways. They'll have you doing all kind of jokes. But yeah, the overall question you got to ask is, is this improving my situation or our situation? Which a lot of times, when you think about your situation, it is a bigger spectrum. What else we got here? Did I miss some? I think I'm going off again on some deep talk. And then they come out the woodworks. What's the inner success? Yeah. Yeah. That's how it is, man. That's how it is. That's how people are. And that's all good too. You know, once you have become a success, it's good that people will appreciate you. But then again, you know, you gotta congratulate people on the way up too. You know, I mean, you know, especially like that's what's good about being a smaller YouTuber, right? Because you can just fill out things, and especially like you don't have a lot of. Me personally, I don't have a lot of pressure, right? I feel like I need to apply pressure to myself to make myself do things, which is another skill too, like being able to apply pressure to yourself. I don't like timelines. I hate timelines, but sometimes the way I like to apply pressure when it comes to videos and editing and everything is just I kind of think about, you know, the audience. Think about the audience and think about what I've been doing already so far. All right, how can I? And then also future me. Like, okay, do I want to get more proficient at getting these things out sooner and sooner? okay, then I need to spend some time here. And a lot of times it's not even pressure. It's more just like even this live today, right? Like it was already late. I was like, I'm gonna just watch a movie and go lay down. I was like, you know what? Let me go in and set up, get the lights, set up the stand, get the camera, get this all up. And at first, after I set it all up, I was still like, I still might not go live. I might just go live tomorrow morning. Then I was like, you know what? Just put it together. Put it together, and then you go live, you know? And we got a decent enough people in here for me to continue, you know, or to call it a successful live, right? If it had only started off slow with like 2 people, then we built up. Um, I feel like that's a lot of things in life, man. You just gotta one trick for even working out or you want to go for a run. And it's funny because I left my running shoes in Brazil. I left them at the hotel I was at on purpose. Cause it's like, I don't feel like carrying all this stuff, and I don't know, somebody here might know somebody who needs some shoes or something. I'll just leave them. And but when you want to go running, and you know you be procrastinating, whatever, you set your shoes up in a place where they looking at you. You can put your shoes and a fresh pair of socks and your shorts right by the door. You get up, you start doing stuff. It's not even, how can I say this? It's like a mind that you don't, it's not even, it's not even bad. At least for me, when I do it, it's just like, oh, okay. It's like when you make a lunch the night before for the next day. You put it together, you think you're not gonna take it and eat it the next day? I mean, obviously food is different. You're gonna eat food all the time anyway. But it's kind of like that. It's like, oh, okay, it's right there. Guess I'll just put these things on and go out and do what I gotta do. So that's what I'm trying to do with my editing and everything. Is just put things in place. So I just need to do it. You know, I just have to do it. So I want to have things set up for me. Boom, my computer's always with me now. Stuff I need to edit is basically just my laptop and the materials on there. Sometimes I'll be messing around on the computer, browsing the web, doing, stuff that's not productive. But then I'll have DaVinci Resolve open in the background. Then even if I'm over there doing this for like 45 minutes, I'll look over like, let me just jump in DaVinci Resolve. And then before you know it, you do something like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Let me see what's going on here. Then boom, you've been doing some editing for 20 minutes. Then I might break down again, get distracted. Boom, go back 10 minutes. So I do want to get a better form of being productive out there. I saw this one guy, I follow his he puts out some shorts like every day right now. I think he took a hiatus from YouTube and came back. And he was laying out this one method of productivity where you do 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break, 25, 5-minute break, and you have a timer, which I haven't tried yet. So I might try that soon. So yeah, or some form of that. Maybe try. What just happened there? Did I have a glitch? Felt like my Wi-Fi just did something. I had a glitch, and then I'm seeing I'm having Wi-Fi issues. Let me see something right quick. Try to improve this. Okay, it should be better. A little bit better. Okay, we back. Oh no, it's still messing around. I was speaking in code. I need to be specific. I forgot what I was even talking about. The code already done passed now. Yeah. So you said it's definitely more lives. Talk about different topics. Yeah, it's cool. I've seen other YouTubers say it's a wave. It's nice. They made the feature on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. What is going on with my connection? What is? Yeah, man. It's yeah. I wanna start doing that. Maybe getting some subscribers. Just giving them the link, have them pop up, and especially I think those who even have a channel of their own probably would be good too, because they have a reason, to get more exposure, get out there. And we'll put them on, we'll talk about their channel, maybe whatever, as long as it's on brand, as long as it's about something we can talk about and not too racy of a thing. But yeah. Let me see. Man, I don't know what's going on with my internet. It is acting up. I'm gonna reconnect this. Oh, let me see. Y'all let me know, anybody who's still in the chat, how this is turning out, because I'm getting this little indicator over here. Connection is unstable. If you're on Wi-Fi, try to plug into your router and move closer to it. I don't know what the dang router is, and I ain't plugging into it regardless. But I'm in range. Been here the whole time. But anyway, we've been doing this 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. Might be time to wrap it up. Okay, I'm freezing up. Okay, there's been a few connectivity issues. Yeah, it might just be time to wrap it up. It's getting late. What time is it? 11:42 Bogota time. So it's past midnight on the East Coast. Some of y'all probably asleep. Just got this straight up. I appreciate that too. Just let it ride. All right. See, it's freezing out. Yeah, all right. So we're gonna go ahead and shut it down. Wi-Fi. That's probably YouTube trying to put their foot on my neck. You know what I mean? But anyway, I appreciate all y'all for coming through, sticking with me through the connectivity issues. 5:45 in New Zealand. Man, that's right. That is right. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for coming through. If you get a chance, check out some of my videos if you haven't seen yet. Did quite a bit of stuff in Florianopolis. Did what's been getting a lot of views? My Panera video in Colombia gets a lot of views every week. People like it. I need to figure out a way to do something similar in a different location. Maybe do more stuff like that. And I do got some plans, maybe to start another YouTube channel at a certain point, even with some of the old videos, old footage I've taken, and just put it in a different format. just an experiment. We'll see. I think we talked about it in one of my last live streams. But yeah. Is Bogota lit? You asking, right? That's a question. Yeah, it can be. Can be. If you wanna go out and party all the time, you wanna go out to the bars and do that every day of the week, it's there for you. Sorry. The reason why I really like Bogota is because it's a big city with a lot of diversity when it comes to like different areas, right? Like different areas have different feel. So you can be in decent areas that have a certain feel. Move over to another area, might be a little bit better, has a certain feel. Another decent area has a different feel, and has all the conveniences of a big city, right? A lot of restaurants, nightlife, if you want to do that, parks, and all that, while still being pretty reasonable prices for most things. More reasonable than most big cities I've been to around the world. But it does have its cons too. It's not, it wouldn't compare in a lot of ways to some European cities, or cities in the US, right? But I would say it definitely has a lot to do. You want to go out and do things like it's. I haven't, to tell you the truth, as many times I've been in Bogota, I haven't really tapped the nightlife too heavy. And even the little bit I've done, you're like, okay, yeah, it's straight on all that. And then the people too, like the combination of how big of a city is, but the people to me still feel approachable, right? So it's a big city. Most big cities, people are not approachable. Like you can't really, even as a foreigner in a lot of big cities, you might have a circle or a subset of people that are really friendly to you. But in general, Bogota is one of those places where, you can talk to somebody and have a little conversation as long as they're not at work. And, and it still has big city vibe. You can go to places where it's a lot of foreigners, a lot of Americans, people from other Latin American countries. You have all that here, but at the same time, you don't feel like the city's eating you up financially. So for now, anyway, that could change in the future. A lot of places around the world, they just raising prices on everything. So that could change, and if that changes, then I'll be spending a lot less time in Bogota. I might love it now. Like Mexico they've shifted their pricing scale has shifted drastically. So even though I love Mexico, I guess it depends on where. I'm sure there's places where it's still very economical in Mexico, but in general, I'll probably be spending less time there because of that. Yeah, I would say, depending on what you're into, Bogota is on that list. I don't know if it's the best, but it's on the list. Only thing is, a lot of people don't like it because it's cold. This thing says my internet is terrible right now, but a lot of people don't like it because it's not. I wouldn't say it's cold. It's cool. Like at night, what temperature right now? It'll get down to, let's see, it's supposedly 53 degrees outside right now. So it get down to the low 50s, and then tomorrow, the high, Jesus, this thing's on sleep mode. The high was 66 today. Today was kind of a cloudy day, rainy day. But normally, since I've been out here, the high be like maybe 72, 68. 68's been the average since I've been out here. So 68 down to the low 50s at night. Rain. It hailed on me one day. I need to put that short out. Second day I was out here, it started hailing, bro. I was like, dang. So you have that. The reason why it's so chilly here is because Bogota is on a mountain plateau almost, and it's at 8,000 feet. I think there's only like a few cities worldwide that are higher in altitude than Bogota. It might be like 2 or 3 other that are higher. Mexico City, I think, is at 6,000 feet. So even though it's up there, it's not as high as Bogota. Bogota has another 2,000 feet. And I think you lose, I forget how many degrees it is, but it's like every 1,000 feet of elevation, you lose a certain amount of temperature. So if it's at sea level in Colombia, if it's, say, 85, 90 degrees, I think it's like, it's a crazy amount. I think every 1,000 feet is like 5 degrees or something like that on average, maybe more. So that's something to know of. And if you come here, you're in Bogota, and you're not in great shape, like meaning you're overweight, you struggle a little bit with things, the altitude is probably not the best place for you to be. Even if you're in shape, you come here, you don't work out for the first 3 to 5 days. First day or 2, you don't even take a long walk because it could, you might start having headaches, stuff like that. Let's see this last we got here. I saw Hanoi, Vietnam on the list. Central Europe too. Warsaw, Bucharest, Prague. Yeah, so I might be hitting a lot of these places in Europe you're talking about. I might be hitting them soon. During this summer while the weather's still good, right? Want to get back out to Europe, and when I'm in Europe, I want to maybe tap over to Eastern Europe a little bit, and then head down to Africa, or maybe hit up Eastern Europe on the way back from Africa. We'll see how things go. Yeah, man, but it's a big world out there. We got to keep, but I that type of mindset, like trying to find the best bang for your buck city, it's a good mindset to have, even if you're not going to stay there forever. It's good to know those places. It's good to know, and it's not even like you have to be the cheapest person, but you can go to a place that has good cost of living dynamics. You go there, you set up for a little while, you get your mind right, you get your whatever you gotta do right. For me, it might even be, some of those places I could set up and maybe operate out of there, just do what I do, and then be editing videos from that I need to get off my plate from before. And I've been talking about that for a minute. It's going to a place where the stresses of everyday things are less, and finances is a part of that. I mean, I like Bogota because it's in that zone where financially it doesn't stress me out enough, where I would have to, but then it has other stresses too. It is a big city. It's not as organized as some places, maybe like in Eastern Europe or even in Europe in general, right? So if you can find a cheap, good bang for your buck place in Europe, that would be better because they have better infrastructure and things like that. The only problem with over there is it's seasonal. So as soon as it gets chilly, that's a different stress. That's another stress too that just makes it, for me, uncomfortable to stay in, not to go. Of course I can go and spend even a month in the coldest of places. But to set up there for a month or more and try to get in the zone of editing and doing things like that, not the best. And then also too, you gotta have good internet. Those are the things you think about. Um, yeah, but you can definitely. I mean, there's places out there. I think they're constantly rotating best places for cost of living, digital nomad work. Even we can sum it up like that: digital nomad lifestyle. I think those best places constantly rotate. I know a lot of people hitting up Bali, a lot of people in Chiang Mai, Thailand for a while. The thing that I heard about Chiang Mai that really deterred me is they said the air quality is really bad. Stuff like that. Air quality is almost up there with safety. Maybe even if it's really bad, it's worse than a place with high crime. Because at least with high crime, a lot of places you can do some things to mitigate what's going on, but some things with high crime or with air pollution you just can't do anything about. You can be in your place and maybe be changing out filters every day or something like that, but you still gotta step outside. So when I hear bad air quality enough where people talk about it, because I actually had a little air quality tester thing I used to take with me, and this is before the pandemic. I had an air quality tester and a filtered face mask, car, charcoal filtered face mask. Not a big one, but it was like, it kind of looked like the one that everybody wears, but it had a filter in there, K9, whatever that thing is, the regulated one. And then a few months after I got that, it's like 5 months later, the pandemic was happening. I was like, what? Did that jinx us? Anyway, I see somebody in here from Prague. Fly Sky, what's good? How are things in Prague, man? I want to get back out there maybe this summer, because I've only been to Prague twice, and that was both times was during the winter. I think once was November and the second time was December. I had a good time both times with people out there. But I heard it's lit during the summer. I heard it's a lot better during the warmer months. I'd like to get out there and see that. Yeah, man, like actually all these spots he talked about right here in Europe. I don't know when I get out to Vietnam, but I don't know if I'll do that this year. Maybe that might be on the list for next year. We'll see. Vietnam. But Central Europe, Warsaw, Budapest, Prague, Bucharest, that could be done this summer, possibly. This summer into fall. Because fall season, early fall is still kind of good over there, even though it starts to get a little chilly. So we'll see. Oh man, my internet's staying bad. All right, y'all, it's getting late. I'm over here yawning. Europe is coming online though. I think Europe is waking up. Let me see what's going on. Let me see what they do. What time is it over there? Well, they at least 6 hours ahead of us, so it's between 6 and 7 in the morning, I guess. Yeah. Well, good morning to Europe. Good evening to the East Coast. They probably already knocked out. West Coast, United States is probably about to West Coast is probably about to lay it down soon. Europe in the summer is lit. Yeah, I know. I lived there lived in Germany for a few years, so I know the spring is really lit. The spring is lit because everybody's still there, and they get those days where it get warm and people just hop outside, lay in the grass, bring out some fruits. Yeah, man, I had those days. We go out there, sit out in the park, lay in the grass, have a little blanket, have some fruits, and just enjoy the sun, man. That I can't lie. Like, even though you might not be nowhere near a beach, that to me was some. That is one of the more enjoyable things to do. You're in the city, just go to a park, nice grass, clean, lay down and just have some fresh fruit, enjoy the sun. They know how to do it in Europe. I'll give them that. They know how to do it. Anyway, y'all, it's been real. It's been a good 3-hour stream. Just 5 minutes short of 3 hours. I think we had a good turnout. Appreciate it. We'll try to do maybe at least one live a week, whether a video comes out or not, because lives they're not easy, but they're a lot easier than editing. Got to find out get some topics down. I'll try to get some topics down for next week, so that way, even after the live, a portion of it I can chop up, push out again as a podcast. If y'all haven't noticed, you can look at my channel now. I got different playlists, right? Those playlists have been there. I had Colombia, Mexico, Brazil playlist. But what you're going to see now is one called podcast playlist. I think I call it Travel Talks. So some of the lives I've done, maybe this one, I'm not sure. Might be kind of difficult to do for this one. But some of them will be chopped up. I'll put chapters in there. I'll try to for most of them. And then they'll be labeled under the podcast playlist. All that really means is when it's in a podcast form, it means you can listen to it on other platforms, I believe, in podcast form, so you don't have to watch the video. Like the last one where you're comparing Rio and Florianopolis, there's not much of that you needed to see the screen for. So if you were just listening, you could have listened to us talk and consume the information that way. So I think that's what we're going to start doing, is some of these lives are going to switch them over to podcast afterwards. All right. So be on the lookout for that. I think I got 2 in there right now. I think it might be one of the lives I did with Ace, and then the one I did with Andre every other day. Yeah. So we trying things slowly but surely. We're gonna figure out something. We're gonna elbow our way up to the front of the line, or up to the line. We might not even be in the line right now. We just gonna get up in there some way. But yeah, appreciate y'all. And this time, I'm really cutting the live. All right. So everybody, good night, good morning, wherever you at, and we out.